Hello, it is December 30th, 2019, and it is the ninth day of the 10-day Headspace trial. And today, this time, there was a cartoon, so I'm going to go ahead and play that. Enjoy. The mind can be a weird place. Yeah.
Think of the mind as a still pool of water. Each thought is like a raindrop. It creates a ripple on the surface. If it starts raining very hard or it's perhaps a little windy, then the pool might become so cloudy that we can't see what's on the bottom. But the potential to return to our still pool of water is still there. In fact, by training the mind, the ripples naturally begin to slow. And as the surface of the pool becomes still, it gets easier to see what's beneath the surface. Sometimes we might like what we see, at other times, well, maybe not so much. Now, occasionally finding things we don't like may sound off-putting, but it's really important because it's part of letting go of those things. Accepting what's in our mind also helps us to be less critical of ourselves. It can even help us to be less critical of others. So we start to feel more content in life, to experience more harmonious relationships, and to be more at ease with the world around us.
So it mentioned the dark thoughts popping up into our heads. That's going to happen. There's this thing called shadow work, and for me what that is seeing the dark parts of you. And meditating does that. You're sitting there, you're forced to be with yourself, with your thoughts, and you start to see the things you don't like about you and the things you also like about you. But the more you sit there with the things that you don't like and you're just thinking about them over and over and over and over, I feel like little by little you start changing. Don't judge the thoughts. It's okay. It's okay to have those negative thoughts. The thing is to basically just realize that they are there and let them go. The way I see it is, if you're in a dark room, there's a darkness, but once you put some light in there, it brightens up. So just shine some light to it, okay? With all that, I will start with the session. So go ahead and get comfortable.
Hi, and welcome back to the basics and to session 9. Now, as you've probably experienced over the last few days, the more we witness the mind, the more we see. The more we see clearly. We're able to recognize perhaps thoughts with a little more clarity, perhaps starting to notice emotions a little more easily. And in seeing these things, we can respond in a few different ways. The helpful way to respond to these is from a place of non-judgment. So just seeing it, witnessing it, and allowing it to unfold or to pass by. The more we can do this, the more the process sort of has a sense of ease to it. The more relaxed the mind feels, the more comfortable the body feels. If we in any way sort of judge it or get involved in thinking about the thought or the feeling, then the mind just tends to get even busier, even noisier. We might start to feel some agitation in the body. So as much as possible, just allowing thoughts and feelings to come and go, not thinking about them, not adding more noise, more tension, just allowing them to do their own thing. Even when they're perhaps a little difficult, even when they're more challenging. It takes a bit of practice, But over time, as we do this, it gives the mind the space it needs to calm down, to find some sort of space, if you like. Right now, though, make sure that you're sitting somewhere where you're not going to be disturbed. We're going to begin with the eyes open. Nice soft focus, aware of the space around you. And then when you're ready, just taking a couple of nice big deep breaths. In through the nose and out through the mouth, focusing on the lungs as they expand and fill with air. The body inhales. And on the muscles in the body as they soften with the exhalation. And with the next out breath, just closing the eyes, sinking into the body, feeling the weight of gravity pressing down. Soles of the feet on the floor, the hands and the arms on the legs. Just pausing for a moment to notice any sounds, not thinking about them, just noticing. And then just bringing the attention back to the body. So as always, just checking in with the body. How does it feel right now? Any obvious sense of lightness, lethargy, restlessness or stillness? And just as we've done in the previous days, we're going to start at the top of the head and just gently scan down towards the toes. Building up a picture of the body, but also noticing as we scan downwards whether there's a particularly strong mood, emotional flavor to the mind today. And noticing when the mind's wandered, coming back to the body as you scan down towards the toes. And then just settling the attention on the breath. So nothing to do now. Just resting the mind on that rising and falling sensation. Noticing where you feel it. And starting to notice whether each breath is long or short. And then just beginning to count the breaths as they pass, just up to 10 each time, and then starting again at 1. And just allowing the thoughts to come and go. No good, no bad, whatever arises in the mind. Noticing when the mind's wandered. And then just letting go of that focus on the breath. And just for a few seconds, allowing the mind to do whatever it wants to do. And then just gently bringing the attention back to the body again. Just coming back to those physical sensations, that contact, the body against the seat or the floor. Perhaps the soles of the feet on the floor, the hands and the arms on the legs. Just starting to become more aware of the space around you again, any sounds, any smells. And in your own time, when you're ready, you can just gently open the eyes again. As always, just take a moment, enjoy that moment, and notice how different the body and the mind feels when you take some time out. And as you reflect on today, just noticing how the mind tends to react to different types of thoughts, whether some thoughts it gets excited about, perhaps some thoughts it feels fearful about, or there's some resistance there. And knowing that when we are able to just sort of step back and allow that thought or allow that feeling to pass by, all of a sudden that process of letting go begins. Because it doesn't matter how much we want to be free from a particular thought, a particular feeling. If we resist it, then we simply create more conflict in the mind, greater sense of tension in the body. So training the mind is about stepping back, about becoming more familiar with this idea of observing rather than trying to change it or control it. And with this practice, this process or skill over time becomes quite effortless. I look forward to seeing you back here for your next session, session 10.
That was session 9 of the 10-day Headspace trial. And what I got out of this one is try not to resist the thoughts. And that's what I was saying earlier. Even if they're negative thoughts, just notice them and let them go. They're just visitors, that's what they say, right? Well, I'm gonna say good night. It is a little bit chilly out here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.